A fishing reel designed before the moon landing is still hauling tuna over the rail today. That's the Penn Spinfisher, and it's reason number 7 this thing might be the greatest saltwater reel ever built. Not the smoothest, not the lightest, the greatest, on the only measures that matter when the water is trying to kill your gear. And here's what makes that strange. Almost every reel you buy today is designed to be replaced. 3 or 4 seasons, the bearings grind, the drag glazes, you toss it and buy the next one. But this one design has survived 60 years, a handful of corporate owners and a private equity buyout, and the 40-year-old versions still outfish gear 10 times their price. 7 reasons why. Counting down. By the end you'll know the eras that earned it, what the charter fleets actually run, and exactly which Spinfisher to buy new or dig out of an estate sale. So let's start with those survivors, because that's reason 7. If you fished the surf any time in the last 50 years, you or your father owned one of these. The 704Z, the 706Z, black and gold, heavy as a brick, bolted to a long fiberglass rod. And the reveal is this: those exact reels, bought new in the late 1970s, are still fishing today. One owner on the forums has a 710Z that's 40 years old, 2 704Zs past 45, and he says they've never failed him once. And it isn't luck. The main gear is brass, the pinion and the main shaft are stainless steel. And metal like that just doesn't wear out the way modern zinc and graphite does. Remember the brass gears. They come back. Reason 6 is the bloodline, and it's older than you think. The Spinfisher name goes back to the early 1960s. The first ones came in a mint green that collectors now call greenies, until Penn switched to the gold and black in the late 70s. But here's the part that actually matters. For that entire run, the parts stayed interchangeable. A schematic from 1966 still helps you fix a reel built decades later. So a working man could keep one reel alive for 30 years by swapping a $2 part instead of buying a new reel. That isn't nostalgia. That's a design philosophy almost nobody sells anymore. Reason 5 is why the working boats trust it. Simple. This reel has fewer moving parts than almost anything in its class. And that's the whole point. You can pull one apart at your kitchen table with a screwdriver and a schematic, and the schematics are everywhere. A shop called Mystic Reel Parts stocks diagrams and parts for models going back decades, because you genuinely can't walk into the Philly factory anymore. Fewer parts means fewer things to break, but the things that do break cost a few dollars, not a few hundred. Honestly, that's rarer than any spec sheet. Reason 4 is the field test nobody paid for. Ask around any charter dock, and you'll hear the same name over and over. It's Penn on most of the boats out there. And the reason is pure economics. A captain needs a dozen reels that live in saltwater spray all day, get handed to strangers, and get dunked in the rinse tank. He can't afford to baby them, but he also can't afford to replace them every season. So he buys the reel that's cheap to own and cheap to fix. That's the Spinfisher. So connect those last 3. It survives for decades, it's dead simple to fix, and the pros run whole fleets of them. Those aren't 3 separate facts. They're one fact wearing 3 hats. Cheap to buy, cheap to fix, and it refuses to die. Reason 3 lives inside the reel, and it's the drag. The stopping power is called the HT100, carbon fiber washers that hold smooth and steady against a fish trying to empty your spool. And that same drag DNA runs from the old Z reels straight into the new ones. As a brand, Penn reels have set over 1,400 world records, and the drag is a big reason why. I personally think a reel's drag matters more than its weight or its bearing count, but this is the drag that built the reputation. Reason 2 is how they dragged all that toughness into the modern day, and this one comes with an honest catch. The new Spinfisher, the 6 and the 7, seals the body and the drag against saltwater. It carries an IPX5 rating, and the 7 finally puts CNC brass main gears in the smaller sizes too. But I'm not going to oversell it. That rating means it shrugs off spray and a wave over the bow. It does not mean you can drop it in the surf and forget it. And the older Spinfisher V, 2 generations back, wasn't truly sealed at all. Guides found water in the grease. They fixed that with the 6 and the 7, but you should know the honest version. because your buddy at the ramp does too. Which brings us to reason 1, the one that closes the case. You can buy the living proof of this whole story, brand new, for right around $200. Or you can find the original, the 40-year-old greenie that started it, at an estate sale for the price of a tank of gas. Both will very likely outlast you. And just so you know, I keep a running list of the gear I'd actually spend my own money on. This reel included. Nobody pays me to put anything on it. That's the thing almost no other reel can say. It's been right for 60 years, it's still right, and it's still cheap. So no, I don't call that the smoothest reel ever made, I call it the greatest. Because greatness on the water is what you can trust, fix, and afford. And yes, I know I just spent 9 minutes praising one fishing reel. So let me earn it and tell you exactly what to buy. Because a recommendation you can't act on is worthless. 2 picks, 1 honest alternative, no hedging. If you want new, buy the Spinfisher VII in a 4500 or a 5500. That's the sweet spot. Enough dragon line for bull reds, cobia, even school tuna, without a boat anchor on the end of your rod. The honest caveat. It's heavier and less silky than a Daiwa or a Shimano at the same price. So if you cast lures all day, your wrist will notice. But if you soak, bait, run live liners, or fish from a pier, that weight is just muscle. If you want the legend, hunt down a 704Z or a 706Z, or a green one if you get lucky. They turn up on eBay and at estate sales from around $40 up past $150, depending on shape. The caveat here is real. They're heavy, they were built before braid, so they love mono, and yours will probably want a fresh service and grease before it fishes. But drop a few dollars of parts into one, and you'll own a reel with brass gears, that callback from the very start, that'll fish another 40 years. And the honest alternative, because I'm not here to sell you a brand. If lightweight all-day casting is your whole game, the Daiwa BG is smoother and lighter for the money, and plenty of old Penn guys switch to it. It just isn't as sealed, and it won't hand you the 60-year story. Your call. So here's the whole story in one line. The Spinfisher isn't the fanciest reel on the shelf, it's the one still fighting fish long after the fancy ones got thrown away. That's the difference between gear you rent from time and gear you actually own. You don't have to trust a marketing slogan anymore. You can trust 60 years of reels that refuse to quit, and buy accordingly. Quick thing before you go. No shop pays me a dime, so when I point at a reel, it's just where I'd spend my own money. Want the exact one and where to buy it? The link's in the description and pinned comment. And either way, you already got the pick for free. And if you think a 60-year-old reel is impressive, wait until you see which vintage reel quietly sells for more than a used car today. That one surprised even me. YouTube thinks you'll like this video, so click it. And if you made it to the end, subscribe.